The Stepwise app was developed in a collaboration between IITA and Mango Tree. IITA gave in the methodology, the whole approach. We helped them translate their content into the text that's understandable for the people, translated it to different languages and all these things. We added the visuals. The good thing about the partnership was the knowledge really came from IITA, and I think the design approach came from Mango Tree. There was also the private sector, so the coffee companies that were involved, like Olam and HRNS, they were involved from the beginning. And the good thing there is that you get feedback on how they want to use it. And that will increase the scale of which this app will be used. And what we learned, for instance, is that their extension workers are still collecting a lot of data with pen and paper. So we made it possible in the app or in the back office of the app to adapt the indicators for every private sector, which all of a sudden made the app into something that is saving time for the extension worker instead of another project for them. So I think that was the value of having everybody in the co-creation.
Well, Mango Tree was very much about, no, let's just go in there, let's just try, and let's let the trial and error and that co-creation process, how can we learn together, and maybe we'll fail a little bit, but that doesn't matter, because by failing a little bit we can actually learn, and we will create an app that is much more useful.
The app is used by the extension worker, and the extension worker he registers a farmer, or the farmer is already there in the system. Then the system already remembered all the information about the farmer, so you start where you stopped last time. And then, so you are with your farmer on the coffee plantation, and you ask a simple question like, do you use fertilizer? And then the farmer says yes or no, and he shows the extension worker what he did. And then by clicking the yes or the no, there's a response. So either more information to advise the farmer, or you continue to the next question. And the Stepwise is a sequence. So whenever you've done something, you're ready to do the next thing. And that's the methodology of IITA. Stepwise app is developed for extension workers to help them to help the farmers, the coffee farmers. So the extension workers can use the app to help the farmer to make decisions in terms of investment in their coffee plantation. So it's very user-friendly in a way that it is driven by questions. So simple questions that an extension worker can ask to the farmer, and then the visuals support the information. The front end is really to share information, but the back end is collecting data. Data collection supports IITA, but also the private sector partners to learn, to keep on learning and refining what it is that the farmers need.
There's two things. So we have our next users, the stakeholders, and the farmers, of course, are also stakeholders, but they're the end users. So an app is really something for a tablet or a smartphone. So I don't expect that in the near future, farmers that we work with will have smartphones. But an extension agent, especially an extension agent that is linked with private sector, they will have access, and they can be given smartphones and tablets.
So we use a co-creation process, a human-centered design approach. That means that you go through certain workshops to come up with the idea, to design together the content, to design together the flow of the app, to prototype it, to test it. So it's basically a series of workshops that we go through, and every time you bring back the information that you gather from the workshop, and we continue designing the mock-up. Then you go back and test. We tested it 3 times in the field, in 3 different districts, Luero, Sironco, Rakai. So you learn every time from the farmers, and then we improve it again.
At the moment, the app is very much about how do you bring information to the farmers. And there's a level, in the app, there's like the possibility built in to link that information with information that you get back from the farmers. So by collecting data and having a data structure that you align with an extension structure, then you can really start cool stuff. And so this is something that's, for me, for the future, this is where we should go. It's all about data. How do you collect data? But in the end, it's also how do you make that data useful in an extension structure?
So currently, I think the value of the app is that the extension worker has something easy to use with a lot of visuals that they can share with a farmer. But over time, we can integrate more and more direct messages for the farmer. And it's built in a way that you can easily add visuals. So you can even have small instruction films on how to prune. So in the end, it will contribute to their production of their farm. It's a small file. You can get it on Play Store, but you can also just Bluetooth it or cable to cable. So then the extension worker can give it to the farmer, and the farmer has the knowledge in their hands. And then the easy thing of an app compared to printed material is that you can continue to add new insights and knowledge, or maybe alerts if there's a disease or anything. You can add it from the office from IITA, and then it will be automatically uploaded whenever a farmer or farmer promoter is, or an extension worker is in a Wi-Fi zone.